Hi there, Elwood City. This is DJ Nikki with WXCD 107.3 in the studio today with Jonathan Cortez for your ElwoodCity.org weekly news wrap-up. So Jonathan came in today and said that we have kind of a pretty good week as far as no news goes. We always say no news is good news. So let's talk about what you got going on your paper over there.
Well, there's just a few, shout-outs to notable Elwoodians.
Elwoodians, I love that word.
Yeah, that's the actual adjective on the Wikipedia page for Elwood City.
Legitimate.
If you go to the Wikipedia page, at least at one point it did, maybe now it doesn't, but it said, people from Elwood are called Elwoodians somewhere.
Well, I know that Wikipedia is kind of built by the public, so I just wonder who informed them that we were Elwoodians.
It's a mystery. So, first topic is there's a documentary on Elwood on YouTube that you can watch. It's called Casualties of Steel. It's about the cultural impact shutting down the U.S. Steel plant in 1974 had on Elwood City.
Wow.
It was made by a Riverside graduate who graduated in 1997, and he made it for a grad school class.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's in grad school now or he made it many years ago, because he's a teacher now at Mount Lebanon, so he might still be in grad school. I don't know. I didn't talk to him. I just saw that the video got posted earlier this month.
Well, I know that Ashton Barella Lee has a show that airs at 3 o'clock every Saturday, and it's called The American Industrial Heartland, because he just has like this passion for the whole mill industry, and it doesn't matter whether it was steel, barbed wire, cars, breweries. It's just that whole mill life is fascinating to him. So he ends up being this plethora of information. And so his show is really short. It's only like 2 to 5 minutes, but it's always a different place every time. He's done LaForge and he's done the tubing mills. And so I'm going to have to tell him about that YouTube video because he's going to love it. But I mean, so you've seen it? I mean, does it put a depressing light on?
It kind of is. It's, if anyone's ever watched a Ken Burns documentary, it was sort of like that.
I haven't.
With just photographs and melancholy music.
Oh my. Oh my.
But there's no narrator. That was the weird thing about it. It's just
you had to read
people.
It,
no, it's people talking. You got various, I guess, interviews and probably maybe recordings of people, and that's just what it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I would think that a narrator would have made it, easier to follow.
Yeah,
it's
not a casual. Yeah, I guess it was different. That's what I'll say.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I mean, you said it's called Casualties of
Steel. You can also just go to either ElwoodCity.org or the Ledger. We both have links to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the kid that did the video, you said he's a teacher in Mount Lebanon.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Oh, I forgot to say that.
So I didn't forget.
Ben Minette.
Okay. All right. So I guess if you guys are interested in seeing this YouTube video, you can see that on your side. So that's cool. How about another shout out? Who else we got?
Next up, and this is, I had no idea. He's probably one of our most famous Elwoodians. We have a physicist,
wow.
who works on. Actually, what he works on is antimatter hydrogen.
Oh my gosh!
And he's a professor at the University of Aarhus in Denmark, which is a very prestigious university, and he works on international projects. And he must have, I think he graduated back in the 80s, but I just found out about it through he donated a book to the Elwood City Library that was dedicated to his high school teacher, Dennis Norman, who passed away last year in August.
I think that's awesome. It's amazing that a genius started here, ended up there, but I think it's awesome whenever somebody gives thanks to a teacher who, inspired them to, because teachers really do. I don't think that they realize how important they are anymore. And unfortunately, a lot of them behave like they don't really have an impact in a kid's life, but they really do. Because I know that in my years, you figure you have 7 or 8 classes a day, which means you have between 6 and 8 different teachers a day. You're in school all these years of your life. And I can tell you in my life, there were only 3 teachers who impacted my life. And that's kind of a sad ratio. You know what I mean? So I like it whenever somebody becomes what they were inspired to do and then gives thanks to the teacher who inspired them. So that's cool.
Yeah. And I guess this is my trend today, but I didn't say his name. He's Dr. Jeffrey Hangst. So next, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, that wraps up the physicist. So we have an NHL player. Some of us might know that.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't follow hockey as much as I do football.
Yeah. Stephen Johns, he graduated in...
I've actually heard his name.
I graduated in 08, so he would have graduated in 09.
Okay.
And...
So he's a youngin'.
Yeah. Yeah, he was on the Chicago Blackhawks team last year.
Okay.
But he didn't play. He was just there.
He was on their roster?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was... I don't know how it works. I don't know anything about sports, but... and then he got traded with the Dallas Stars, who did use him in last weekend. He played 2 games on March 11th and 12th.
So he was on the ice?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So hopefully
Elwoodians.
that's the start of a successful NHL career for him.
It was really funny. Somebody was in here. It was Don Costa, and he recently started his new sports talk show, and he was talking about how his show is going to be about all these different kinds of sports, and he named hockey as one of them, and then he kind of added, I don't really follow hockey that closely, and then he said he was somewhere on like a, I don't know, fishing trip or something, and there was a bunch of Canadians, and they started talking about American football and everything, but it always leads to hockey because, he said it's them Canadians, it always leads to hockey. And then they were talking about this young kid who was only 16 at the time, and they were like, I'm telling you, he is going to be great. And, I think Dawn just kind of laughed it off like, everybody thinks that their hometown high school kid's going to be big. His name was Sidney Crosby. So they legitimately picked a winner with that one.
Yeah.
But he said he remembers hearing that name and he, thinking, everybody always thinks their hometown kid's going to be famous. But he really was. Anything else Elwoodian style?
Well, the PIAA swimming is happening this
yeah.
weekend, or it's ending today.
Okay. So we'll probably have those results next week.
Yeah, the most I can say is that Elwood swimmer Taylor Petrak got second in the prelims in the...
Just a couple weeks ago.
Well, no, in the preliminaries on Friday. I checked that before I came over here.
Oh, okay.
So how it works is, because there's so many swimmers, you do preliminary sets first.
I was thinking of the show that we did 2 weeks ago where she had beat last year's record but didn't hit first. Okay.
Yeah. So what how it works, I think 16 to 20 people or something go to states from all of the districts. And then on the first day, you just do a preliminary heat and the top 8 move on to the finals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that means that she'll end up having 4 races and she's doing the 150.
Oh, okay. And we'll make sure that we get those results for next week because that's happening today. So good luck, Taylor. Not sure how you're doing, but hope you're doing great. Okay, so since we're talking about sports, I want to mention that Don Costa's sports talk show, which aired earlier today with Ron Galbraith, was, I think, a success. But next week, he has Brad Brown, who's also known as the Magic Man here as an Elwoodian. But Brad is an absolute basketball fanatic. Like, he played basketball. He was really good. But he's doing kind of like a March Madness prediction show. And as of the time when that show got recorded, nothing had started yet. So I'm really curious to see when Brad Brown is a guest on the 26th, how much of what he said will kind of come to fruition, curious. But after that, I want to let you guys know, because we were talking about local Elwoodians and athletes, the show that's going to air after that, so it'll be the first show in April, well, actually, he has Nick Iannelli as his guest, the football Elwood star who got the Colgate Scholarship. So I love to hear about the young athletes coming out of Elwood, because I think we have a lot of talent. Athletes, musicians, comedians. I met somebody from Elwood. It was the funniest guy I'd ever heard. So I think it's great that he's going to be a guest on the sports talk show. So maybe we can get Taylor to be a guest on the show, because she's kind of an Elwood star, you know. I guess we've given our shout outs, and no news is good news this week. So I guess that's a wrap.
Yep.
All righty. We'll see you guys next week for the ElwoodCity.org news wrap-up show here on WXCD 107.3. Once again, we'd like to give thanks to the Eric Ryan Corporation at ElwoodCity.org. Thanks for all your support here on WXCD. Have a good one.